Yeah, guys. So now let's discuss something called static constructor, which is also called as static block. So what is this static constructor, static block? It is used to initialize, okay, exclusively static data members. Okay. Oh, sorry. One second. Yeah, now you can see. So static constructor or static block is used to initialize exclusively static data members. So you cannot initialize non-static members from you cannot initialize non-static members. Means instance members cannot be initialized. Okay. Okay. Let's see this. Switch to Eclipse. Go to File. Close all editors. New project. Java project. So Winsoft 90 I said. Click on Finish. So right click on the project. New class. Package name I'm giving as com.prakash, and here I'm giving something like my app and main method. Okay, so now what are we doing? We are creating a what you call class here, class employee. I'm saying what is this example is static block demo or static constructor demo. So how do we write a static constructor or static block? Means just we write static curly brace open close. This is said to be static block syntax. This is the way to write. Here you can initialize static data members, only static data members. Initialization can be done here. Okay, so you cannot initialize non-static members. Let's switch to this Eclipse and take one employee ID, string ename. So these are non-static actually, and then static integer. Okay, which is common like something, or let's say static string. Okay, something like head office address, head office. Okay, so why I'm taking static string means because head office address is common to all the employees, right? Branch office address may be different from branch to branch, employee to employee, because they have branches in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Then it can be non-static member. I can take string name comma a branch office like that, but I'm giving head office name is common for all the employees. That is why I'm taking it as static. So now what I'm doing, I can take a normal constructor or instance constructor like employee, where I can initialize like employee ID is equal to something like 1001, name is equal to something like Ram I said, and I can also initialize head office address. Head office is equal to something like this. Okay, like I said, Bangalore. That is a head office address. So it is a non-static constructor or instance constructor, okay, or default constructor in which I can initialize everything, guys. I can initialize non-static members plus static members. There is no issue. Let's create object of it. Static block demo. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm creating object of employee class. Employee E is equal to, or E1 is equal to new employee. So now just write something like a display method, because I want to display void display sysout. I'm displaying employee ID by ID plus CMP ID, then name of the employee, name, and then head office address. Head office address plus head office. Okay, control space means you will get it automatically. You need not type it. Control plus space. So you'll get, if you type one or two letters of the variable name, then you can do it. So E1 dot display. Okay, so whenever you create object of employee class, here instance constructor will be called or default constructor will be called. Automatically the values are getting initialized. What are the values? Employee ID 1001, name Ram, and head office Bangalore. So three are initialized, and I can call the display method. So I will get all the values on the screen. See this, guys? You can have employee ID 1001, name Ram, and head office address Bangalore. Done. So what is this instance constructor or default constructor is doing? We can initialize all the three type of variables. I mean two type of variables. These two are non-static and this is static. But whereas when it comes to static constructor or static block, you need to write static like this, in which I can initialize only let's copy this, paste it here. You will get error. So I'm getting errors for employee ID and name. Why? Because static block is used only to initialize static member variables, but these two are non-static or instance variables, so I cannot initialize. That is the point we need to remember. Let's remove it. Now there is no error. So when I'm initializing static variable in static block, I need not do it here because we are already doing instance members in instance constructor, static members in static. This is the best way to go. So now let's run it, guys. You'll get the values like same output. So what is the difference between earlier and now? Now I'm using static block. This is said to be static constructor or static block, in which I can initialize only static data members. I cannot initialize non-static. Now the question is, which one will be called first? When I create an object, whether instance constructor will be called first or static constructor will be called first. So guys, it doesn't follow the sequence. What we feel is, since the instance constructor is in the beginning, you may feel that this will be called first. Okay, but though it is in the second line, I mean, it will be called first. But how do we know, sir, which one will be called? Means let's write a sysout statement. Okay, I said instance constructor called, invoked, something like this I'm calling. Okay, let's keep the same message for static calls so that we'll see which one is getting called first. So here what I'm writing, static constructor invoked or static block invoked. Now let's run it and see, guys. See the output. This time you will see first static constructor invoked followed by instance constructor invoked. Of course values will be normal. So this is what the point we need to remember. When you have static block or static constructor and instance constructor together in a class, it always calls the static constructor first followed by instance constructor. It doesn't follow the sequence. And remember, in non-static constructor or instance constructor, you can initialize all type of variables. But in static block or static constructor, it is used exclusively for static data members. That is the point we need to remember. Okay, yeah.